Everybody, welcome back to another episode of P1
Hold on,
Talks.
hold on. There you go. All right.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of P1 Talks. My name is Eric, or on Twitter, I'm Masked Trades. I'm joined by, I gotta mute myself here, joined by Chris Cross, Cross the Grinder on Twitter. We have a great show for you tonight. We're going to talk all things stocks and investing. Just want to take the time to say thank you for the support that we've been getting for these episodes. Your comments, your feedback, the likes. It's very much appreciated from the bottom of our heart. Thank you. You know, we're a small show that's doing big things, and we really appreciate the support that we've been given thus far. So, just to kind of catch you up, the goal of our show really is to entertain you, to inform you, to educate you, and to enlighten you into the investing world, into the markets in general. Also, we were scheduled to have LADEback on our show tonight, but he's more like a little late back tonight. So what we're going to do is we're going to just give him a chance to kind of maybe get in here. But the show's going to go on. You know, hopefully he gets a chance to jump in. Maybe something came up. So, you know, at any point, our door is open. So, you know, before we move on with the show, we encourage you to check out phase1trading.com, our YouTube channel, Phase One Trading. We encourage you to follow us on Twitter, leave comments. Especially, we'd like to know, you know, who you would want to see on the show, you know, what kind of content you would want to see us do in the future for future episodes. And speaking of future episodes, I want to let you know we already have a lot of great guests booked for future episodes. So be sure to check that out. So, Chris,
Yep.
how'd you do today?
So, I mean, today was a little interesting, especially this morning. I felt like I did play OCX, which topped off this morning at $3.80. I did see it bounce off the $3.20 support line twice. The second time, I knew that was that's my time to get in. Every time it breaks, like if anything like that was supposed to break to that, I was like, yeah, that's when I usually get out. But OCX is what I played this morning. A lot of the gappers kind of like just died off during the day, and then I just saw, you know, just a few. Paula, FTEK had a great day today, and I think that's just possibly moving on like the blizzard that's gonna hit New York sometime tomorrow. I know you're gonna get hit with it. I'm not even
Yeah,
up there anymore.
I'm working from home, as they say on
Yeah.
Thursday.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Long Island, if you can't tell from my accent. And yeah, we're supposed to get about 12 to 15 inches of snow Wednesday into Thursday. So
Yeah.
I started getting alerts from the power utility here saying high winds and a lot of snow. And I was like, the first thing that popped in my head, I was like, ooh, PPSI and Pola.
Yep. Yep.
It's
Energy
like
sector.
a go-to storm trade. And I tweeted about it early in the day, pretty much right as I was taking my own entry at like about 390. I started getting in, and I sized up pretty heavy because usually what happens with that trade, for those of you who aren't familiar with that, that's Polar Power and PPSI. What's the name of that company? I don't even know. Sometimes I don't even care. But it's a sympathy trade. So essentially what happens is Polar usually runs first, from my experience. So when you see Polar start to take off and the volume comes in, usually PPSI is on the same algo and it's about 2 to 5 minutes behind it. So what I started doing was I was noticing Polar starting to get that traction. It was already up almost 20% before PPSI even was moving. And I said, that's it. I sized in heavy 390. And then me and a few people in the group, we were scaling out about 430, 433, excuse me. I took a little bit on the way down at 425, and I'm holding a little bit overnight, which really isn't my style. But I figured, you know what, you capture a piece of that initial move, that initial squeeze, and then I'm holding a little bit overnight because I think the headlines around here, especially locally, are going to ramp up
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
And to be a good pre-market dump, pretty much.
Yeah, basically. Another one that ran today, like midday towards like after hours was one that Lizard King actually brought up to us during our first podcast, which was MVIS. It's like he explained it was an augmented reality stock. I mean, it paid out pretty huge for people. It topped off after hours at $4.49. which was just insane. Like that was a great call right there from him. That
It
was like
was.
what, like 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago, whatever it was.
It was,
First
and he
podcast.
did it right here on this show too.
Yep, yep. It was good. I know. Okay, so like the talk of Twitter was just. I'm just gonna jump into it. It's BTC. People are talking about Bitcoin. They're talking about like, it's basically just racing out to break that 20,000. Like people are just like, they want to see like it shatter records from like 2017 and stuff. So the two tickers that I'm sure everybody was looking at was Mara and Riot. Like those are ones that just ran completely on that BTC run. It's like, and I've said it before, like anytime you see like Bitcoin run like like the day before, or like when you're sleeping you wake up, or it's like if you see Bitcoin run, you just know Mara is going to be the one to play. MARA is going to be the one to play. And I always stick to that one. And it's if you pull up like the 5-year chart on that thing's got $8 coming, that thing's got $10 coming, and $12. Back in 2017 when that initial Bitcoin ran. So
what's Bitcoin at right now? Anybody in the chat know? Could you put it in the chat? I'm curious. The last I looked, it was about 19.5.
Yeah, Bitcoin I think it's about 19.5 right now. 19,483 right now.
Wow.
As it stands.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's definitely bullish where it's at right now. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what it does from now till the end of the year, because like this is hot, like like end of the year play, like Bitcoin is usually hot around this time. So be really interested to see what it does. But anyways, let's we'll get into Bitcoin a little later. If anything, let's move on to some SPACs and some SPAC warrants. I know a lot of people have been, talking SPACs and stuff, and they've kind of been like, dying off a little bit here and there. So like for example, I played one BFT. I played that one, and I played its warrants.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
You didn't play it, Chris. You had a great call on that, and you were earlier than everyone.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Like once I saw that $9 billion like the 9 billion valuation, and I saw a $2 billion pipeline, I'm like, okay, it's like this is gonna be a good one. I mean, they're in bed with like Twitch, which is obviously Amazon bought out Twitch and stuff. So Roblox, Fortnite, like, and it's led by Bill Foley. Like the guy's a billionaire. The guy knows what he's doing. When these like SPACs attach themselves to a big name, like that's what you want to look for. There's value there when these SPACs are attaching themselves to big names like that. So I think there was one day you said you loaded up on one. What was that? The IGA, was it IGAC or something, or what was that? What was that one that you loaded up on, that gambling one? I think you mentioned that.
Originally was LCA. That was
LCA.
my
Okay.
That was my original that I played, but I've since been out of that. The other one, where is it here? I'm looking at my watch list as we speak. You know what? Like a lot of these, I don't even care enough about what they do. I just buy them.
Yeah.
IGAC.
IGAC. Okay, yeah, that's the one then.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a phase one kind of SPAC right now, but in my opinion, it's a screaming buy at $10 here. I think it's just not a lot of volume, so it's not really cool to buy it yet. But that's the time to buy things. And at $10, we know that all these SPACs from $10, it's an easy 20% at least. And the way I see it, even just fundamentally, if you zoom out a little bit, so we have the vaccine that's kind of starting to be administered and implemented right now. So naturally, the first sector that's going to bounce back was the one that was hardest hit, right? So it's restaurants, it's hospitality, it's leisure, it's travel. So this is seated right in that sector. So the way I see it is, here you have a SPAC, it's $10, it's early on. Your downside is a buck and a half.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
And your upside is like what, $5? At least.
Yeah.
And it's in an industry where, as this vaccine gets implemented, a lot of the news is going to be the sector bounce back, the sector recovery. Like I'm not going to go as far as to say the cruise lines are going to do amazing, but one of the first things that's going to bounce back is that sector, and this is right in the heart of that sector. And if you do any homework into these gambling plays, whether the economy being beat up is actually good for them at the end of the day. gambling, guns and booze, that's what does good in the down economy. So even as the vaccine gets implemented,
Yeah.
um, the economy is still not doing well. So
Yeah.
gambling is a good avenue.
Yeah. And it's also, you can think of like, the virtual aspect of it as well, you know, with COVID and still going on and all that. So,
I mean,
um,
just look at how good DraftKings
hmm
and what's the other one? No, not FanDuel.
mm, it'll come to you.
DraftKings. What was the other one other than DraftKings? I can't remember now. Oh, the Portnoy one.
Oh yeah, pen.
Penn. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
look
yeah.
at the success of that
Yeah.
industry. I mean, it's steep competition there with Portnoy. I mean, the guy's a marketing genius,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Hell, probably get Portnoy on the show next time.
yeah.
Bring him in and you
And
can
and
talk about
another one somebody in our group brought to our attention was
mm,
PDAC, PDAC.
PDAC.
So they don't have an acquisition target as of yet, but they're targeting an energy related company to the tune of, I think, just a few billion. I think maybe 5 billion. I say that yeah, I say that like it means nothing, but it's not like a BFT, which is what, 9 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah,
energy is going to be a hot sector too. So those are the two SPACs that I'm currently holding. I like the gambling and I like energy. I
yeah.
think energy in a Biden administration, a Democratic presidency,
hmm
is going to be, clean energy is going to be a focus of that administration. So regardless of your politics, I like making money.
Yeah,
And if that's their focus, it's mine as well.
yeah. Just play whatever they're pushing. I mean, that's look for
That's it.
every look for take advantage of whatever they're doing, no matter who's president.
That's
Like
it.
if they're playing energy, if they're playing steel, whatever they're playing, play that. Like play that, get in there, make some profit and get out. Just play whatever's moving,
That's it.
whatever they're trying to push.
Play the
So
system. Play the system. Because at the end of the day, the people who are controlling you are
yeah.
well beyond the president.
Yeah, that's for sure. So let's jump into some swing trades. I've got a couple that I played. I've been jumping in and out of some. I got I'm just gonna name them here. I got AESE is Allied Sports Entertainment. They also merged with World Poker Tour. That stock was like just basically ground floor. And then the 175 was the 200 SMA. It acted like a magnet for the last like 2 weeks on that thing. I'm just like, this is just nuts. So the chart setup was nice. You had insiders buying at 114. You got another report that came out on Friday of insider buying, close to $600,000 worth of shares at 141. I'm like, this thing is, if they're buying here, something's coming up. Something's happening. All it really needs is some news right now, and that thing is just, it's just. I just like it. I really like that stock for example. So NTN is another one that I like. It's got a nice chart setup. Like you guys can just basically just. I've been buying at like 12, 13 is where I entered. So the spike, I think right now it's like at 230 right now, like almost two. They hit like 232. I think the high of day today.
228.
Yeah, so it hit 232 at the high of day today. And I'm basically just like selling 15-30% spikes. Like there's 15 cents spikes. Like you can just do that if you wanted to get in and out. Just look at the chart. The thing is just like spiking, comes back down, retraces, it spikes back up. Like on no vol, like it's just volume. That's all it is. It's just moving on volume. So
That's just a
and it's
technical play right now, right?
yeah,
You're just playing the technicals
exactly,
on
yeah.
it.
And I'm
Yeah.
looking at it. It's a recent run at $7. So if you guys want to check that one out, check out NTN. And also going back to like energy plays, CEI. That chart looks pretty damn good right now. So and with energy being a hot thing right now, I'm surprised it didn't run on Paula. What was that other one? Was there another one that ran? FTEK.
FTech.
FTech. That's it. Yep.
Yeah, so
So
that trade is pretty much Pola, PPSI, FTech,
uh-huh.
and I guess then you can mix in like SPI as well into
Yeah.
that. And speaking of good chart setups, I mean, I know a lot of eyes are on SPI, including my own. I've been watching SPI for about a week and a half, just oh man, just staying patient to try to get into it. I've
Yeah.
yet to pull the trigger because it's yet to confirm any kind of reversal. It showed some life today, and I know a lot of people were probably watching exactly what I was
Mhm.
watching today on the chart.
Yep.
But the volume just never came in. It just never materialized.
Yeah.
And so it's a strong watch, and it's surprising that it's not running with Pola and PPSI and
Yeah.
FTech, but the time will come. If that sector goes, it's just going to take one good runner to just completely ignite the entire
Yeah.
sector. We've
Exactly.
seen it so many times.
Yep. Yep. I see Adam on the chat said RSP turned to algos on SESE. Yep. I mean, hey, that's hey, whatever works really. If it's turning algos on that, that's all. It is what it is. If you guys want to chat, if you guys want to put on some Q and A's when we move on to Q and A's later, if you want, just toss those questions on the chat. If you have any questions for us, we could go ahead and we'll answer those as we go. So one more swing trade I have is IZEA. So basically, this has been like a sell the news kind of play for me. I've been buying this like in mid 80s, high 80s. When it gets news, it runs up to $1 like it's like $1, $1.20, like that range. So you can easily make like 20 to 30% on this stuff. Just basically, I'm just buying the floor and just flipping this thing because that's exactly what everyone is doing. I mean, that's how it's reacting. So IZEA is the stock on that. Let's see what's so let's go. We could just move on to some of the trading psychology. I think a lot of people are probably want to know about like trading do's and don'ts. My thing for sure, like my number one thing, and I tell everyone this, you got to learn to take profits because if you aren't taking profits, then what are you really doing? If you're not locking in these profits, what are you building? You're holding for what? I mean, there's nothing worse than being up 20 to 30% and then being in the red and holding it back afterwards. So I see someone just answered, what made laidback bullish on CRTX? Well, we'll ask laidback when he gets on, but but yeah, it's like going back to what I was saying, like taking profits. I think that's I think a lot of people get tied up on that and not doing that. What was the analogy on that we came up with, Eric, on taking profits? It was a baseball one.
Yeah. So
Was it?
I like my analogies, that,
Mm-hmm.
because I repeat them to myself, all day long as I'm trading. It helps me. It helps me stay grounded, and it's kind of check on myself. So we were we were chatting last night. I said something. I said, if you do all this homework, right, and you do all this DD, and you got a good entry, and you scaled in the right way, and you facilitated your trade, and you were disciplined, and you executed exactly how you planned, and then you're not taking profits at the end. I was like, that's like hitting a home run and forgetting to touch home plate. It's like, what are you doing?
That's it. Hitting home run and forgetting to touch home plate. That's basically it. Like you won. The money's there. Like take it. You earned it. Like it's yours. Take it. Take that money and then find another play that's set up at the bottom or something that looks similar, and then just bring that over and compound your gains. Like
That's
just
it.
snowball your account. You don't, if you're not we don't have to always aim for these home runs. Don't I this is how I trade. I don't aim for home runs. If they come, they come. Like I just, hey, that's a home run. Nice. Okay. Cool. Like I got it. But it's just like you want to focus on the base hits. Like if you set a goal for yourself, like a daily goal for yourself, no matter how big your account is, it can be, you can be a 500. Let's say you start off with your account like $500 or $1,000, whatever it may be. Set a goal for yourself. Set the daily goal for yourself. And sometimes you gotta also think, not making a trade that day, if nothing looks good, you don't have to trade. You don't have to buy anything. Sometimes it's just better to sit on your hands and kind of just watch the market, especially if the market looks really bearish, like, just watch the market. Like listen to the news and see what's going on out there. Like it's a great indicator on, okay, I should be a little more careful, like buying or scaling into or getting into a stock. Don't force a trade ever. And one more thing as well, while I'm on that topic, don't revenge trade. ever. That's one of the things I tell a lot of people not to do. Um, just kind of tell yourself, like, why did you lose this money? Like, why did you lose, if you lost, let's say you're down $1,000, why did you use $1,000? Were you just taking a wild shot at something? Like, to me, it's like more of, you were gambling. It's like going to a casino and putting, your chips on like black or red, and or putting in, or playing blackjack or whatever, and you missed. It's like that's basically what it is. You lost your money. Don't try to regain those losses. Those losses are gone. Start from wherever you are now, and then have that, make a game plan for that and go forward. So I'm just gonna leave it off on that. If I don't know if you want to add anything else to, to your trading psychology or your do's and don'ts, Eric, you go ahead and feel free
Yeah,
to
I mean,
step in or
just like a
whatnot.
few things that I like to do is I like to always remember there's good wins and there's bad wins, and there's good losses and there's bad losses. You know, a loss isn't always something that lost money with,
Hmm.
or a good trade is not always something that you gain money with. I've had good trades where I lost money
Yeah.
because I stuck to my plan and I managed my risk accordingly. And I was disciplined, and I took a loss where I should have taken a loss. And I look at that as a good trade. And I think a lot of people who get into trading for the first time, they look at anytime they lose money, it's a bad trade. And you have to
Hmm.
get yourself out of that mentality instantly. There's good and bad on both sides of the trade, winning and losing.
Hmm.
The second you start looking at it like that, that's when you start, growing that discipline in your trading, and realizing that, losing is part of the game.
Yeah.
And if you can minimize those losses, the wins will come, and the chips will stack. And another thing, just to that point, is when you do take a loss, which you will and you should, when you're managing risk, you should keep a record log of the amounts. So, is it, when you take a loss, is it $200? Is it $1,400? Like, what's your average loss? And when you look at all your losses, they should generally be within a range. Like, your average loss is depending on, your percentage to your account balance, I guess, or the types of size you take on an average trade is obviously different for everybody's risk appetite. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, someone's losses, if you keep them in a range of $200 to $400, or $300 to $600 is your average loss,
Hmm.
your losses should look like that. Like, if you look at the last 10 losses you took, are they, 200, 350, 150,
Yeah.
350, or is it 1,400, 2 grand, 700? Is it erratic, or is it
Yeah.
within a tight range? I think you should, when you do take losses, you should focus on, taking those mental stops, taking those hard stops, and keeping your losses within a range. What that range is up to your trading
Hmm.
appetite, but it should be consistent losses. Gains you can't control. Your gains are going to be all over the place, right? At least
Yeah.
mine are, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but what you can control are your losses. You really can't control wins. You could scale out the right way, but generally you can't control a win. Like, if something just goes to the moon, like, you can't stop it, right? Like, and why would you want to? But what you can stop is your downside. And forget about, I mean, me personally, my opinion, forget about averaging down and killing all your time and your money. It's like, I go into a trade, on like a gapper in the morning, right?
Hmm.
Where, you get that gap up, you get that 7:30, 7:45 in the morning retracement. They hold either like the 20 or the 9 EMA.
Yeah.
If it holds that support, good. You're right. You catch that bounce, you ride that momentum, and you figure out how to scale out.
Hmm.
You set that stop right under it. So the idea is that when you're wrong, you're only minimally wrong. And when you're right, the opportunity is endless at that point. So when you start consistently trading that upside downside like that, that's
Yeah.
that's when you're going to notice that your cash balance is going up.
Yeah.
Forget about how many shares you have in a company. You can lose $5,000 with 50,000. You can lose $5,000 with 10,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all about percentages.
Yeah.
But
That's a good point.
that's the biggest thing I like to remember. I'm generally, and I've said this to you in the past, Chris. Like, I'm generally cautious and scared to buy stuff, and I'm very impatient and happy to sell stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes I sell things too soon, and you know what? I leave some on the table, but it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay, because I'm not wasting time.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. You're moving on to the next play and seeing what's the next one that's set up,
That's it. The
just
next,
for.
yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
I'm looking for that next low risk setup.
Hmm.
As you stay in a trade, as your holding time increases, your risk exposure increases, especially with these penny stocks. I mean, you want to hold a stock, go buy Microsoft, go buy Amazon, go
Yeah.
buy Verizon. Verizon pays like a 4.5% dividend. Go hold Verizon. Don't hold a $4 biotech. That's not an investment. It's a trade. It's a momentum vehicle. That's my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. No, I agree. I completely agree with you there. So, I see someone asked in the audience here. Tips on, yeah, we'll go back to Brandon. We'll come back to that question there when we get to our Q&A. Ask Laidback what's his favorite pizza. Um, I think lately he's just been eating plain cheese pizza. We'll get into that section a little later when we talk about our favorite spots and stuff. So, but yeah, going back to like the trading psychology. Yeah, I just agree. It's just like you gotta learn, like, for me it's just, again, it's just the profit taking. Just know when the
Mhm.
party's over. If it looks really good, and the price is, and you're up a lot, like, don't be ashamed to not take something. Like, you should be excited to sell, if anything, and scared to buy. You get what I mean? Like, because once you buy in, like, if you get into a position, you're like, you're kind of unsure. I mean, like, an offering could be down, 5 minutes in, like, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people, have been in that situation before. But also, you want to, like, when you go into a trade, you want to, like, find the least possible, downsides to it. Like, if you're buying something at the bottom, something that bounced off of like a recent support, like a yearly support or something, then it's like, that's how I minimize my losses, or minimize basically my exposure. So I always want to put myself in an advantage, and that's basically buying a lot of things that have been beat up. So one thing I've been posting lately on Twitter is my rotation. It's a stock rotation that I've noticed has been going on, where energy will run, one day, and then, Bitcoin will move, and then, marijuana stocks will run next, and then you got, like, SPACs and EV plays. Like, I found out that a lot of the ones you're gonna find out is they're all beat up. Like China, if you look at, like, for example, WEI and KXIN, like, those are two China stocks that I usually play. China hasn't ran in some time. I say some time, but it ran like 2 weeks ago. Like, we had some of that's still a long enough time, So, I see Lizard's
That's
on
an
there too.
eternity in trading,
Yeah,
Chris.
yeah, exactly.
Chris, there's a question in the chat that I want to make sure we address because it goes kind of right into what we're talking about right now. And Brandon in the chat writes tips on finding good entry points. So I know
Yeah.
you've lately been like the master of pre-market gap trades
Hmm.
and using trend lines. So do you want to kind of like just briefly talk about how you're finding these setups and getting your entry in a
Yeah.
low risk position pre-market?
Yeah. So, like, there's a few things that I look at, and I call them my four boxes. The four boxes that I have to all check. And that's, does the stock have news? Does the stock have volume? So volume is the most. I'm gonna name from, like, the best, like the top of the list to the least. So, like, volume is the biggest factor whenever you're playing, like, these morning runners. Like, when the volume is there, people are trading in and out, and especially, a stock is volatile when there's a lot of volume coming in and surging between, that 7 a.m. To, like, 10:30 or like 11 o'clock. I think, like, 11 o'clock is our cutoff. Like, it's funny because in our chat we say, yo, it's 5 minutes to 11, or like 10 minutes to 11. All right, your volume's starting to die off, and you see, I mean, like, if you pull up any chart, you see that's where the volume starts dying off. Like, as it gets closer to the 11 o'clock mark, that's when it starts dying off. Um, so going back to, like, the morning runners, the four things I check for is, does it have volume? Does the chart look set up? And the reason I say is, does the chart look set up is find out where that gap price is. See where it gapped up at. So if, let's say for example, a stock gaps up to, let's say, $2, right, and then it retraces, you notice that it's going to retrace after it gaps up. It reaches $2. Let's say it retraces, it will retrace to like a dollar, like $1.60 or $1.70 or something. Usually like $1.60 ish. Like it's usually like a I say like a 15 to 25% retrace usually on these morning gappers, and then you'll see that's where my support line is. Like I kind of just draw a support line there, and then I kind of wait and see, if it hits that second support line. So a good example of that this morning was actually OCX. It actually hit that $3, like $3.20 support line twice. Like it was in that range, and it bounced off. The second time it bounced off, it kept climbing from there. It reached like $3.60, and I think then it peaked to like $3.80. Like it was like $3.80 from there. And that's usually I ended up selling I ended up selling at $3.79. I was like, that's usually where I'm at. But going back to it again, it's volume, it's the chart setup, does it have news? That's another thing you have to look for, because if it's not running on anything, then it's gonna most likely probably pump and dump on you. So you just got to be careful and limit your exposure there. So those are like really the important things you want to look for when a chart is, when you're looking for these like morning gappers. So just look for that. Like my indication is just look for that 15-20% retrace. Draw a line right there, look for that support, see where it goes afterwards. If it'll probably go up to like 10 cents, 15 cents, no matter, it depends on what you're trading though. I'm just going back to that $2 stock. It'll go up like 15 cents, 20 cents, and then it'll retrace right back. When it retraces back to that, like if it breaks that support a second time or a third time, that's when I know the party's over. It's like that decision is just gonna die off. I think there's I forgot what ticker that was that ended up doing that. I don't know if it was like Timber or it was one of those stocks that kind of just like broke that support line and just kept dying off. So and don't like put all your eggs in one basket either in the morning. Just kind of feel it out. Feel it out. Look for what has the most volume. Like that's what I look for. Volume. That's what's going to move a stock. That's what that's where you're going to see a lot of people interested. That's where you're going to see a lot of shares being exchanged. So just look for that volume. Look for that volume, look for that news, look for the chart setup, and then look for the price that kind of meets whatever price you're buying. Like I usually like buying like $2, $3, $5 stocks that look set up really nicely in the morning. So kind of just keep that in the back of your head. So, but yeah, that's that's my thing.
I'm just getting a DM from LB, and he said seems like he's sorry. I just he said, tell me what I need to do. So I just sent him the link of the Zoom.
Yeah.
So he should
laidback is coming on. All right, cool.
Should be signing in here shortly. So we might just have to tell him to mute it. So if there's any kind of feedback, we'll correct that pretty quickly.
Yeah. He's got a lot of catch up on.
So I just sent him the link. So
yeah,
we'll see.
I think he's here. Let's see.
Hey, what's going on?
There he is, the man.
Yo, what's going on, guys?
What's going on,
how are you? Hey, can we call you laidback tonight?
Yeah. Oh man.
So hey, listen, if you have YouTube open in the background, just make sure you mute it so we don't get any reverb on the mics. But other than that, you should just be able to hear us very clearly. You sound pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah. No, my bad, dude. I literally knocked out. I'm exhausted, man.
Yeah, no, I hear you, dude. It's like we got a concert going on. It's like, all right, guys, I'm here. I'm here. No, it's all good, dude. No, we were just wondering what was going on. We're gonna call you up or something. Like, wait, hold on. We didn't ask this guy for his phone number. It's like, I'll just call you up in a second.
Dude, when you go on the couch, you just close your eyes.
I know exactly how that is, man. Yeah, so we just kind of going. Yeah, go ahead, Eric. We've been kind of talking already, but you want to catch him up a little bit?
Yeah. So, kind of, one of my first questions for him was kind of like take us through the average day of you trading. So I'm assuming if you're falling asleep on the couch about now, you get up pretty early.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, well, everything I trade like way different than I don't know what people do, but like me, I don't usually mess with like I'll start trading at like 9:30. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't really do the pre-market stuff. So I'll wake up, look around in the market, but like go get breakfast, like do my thing, and I'll try to like be back, you know, right and be like at my desk before 9:30. But I don't even do like the pre-markets. I used to do pre-market, but I realized that like, you know, I realized I can get a better entry on most things just waiting till the bell rings. Yeah. You know?
I hear you.
So yeah.
I'm kind of finding that out myself lately as well. You know, my pre-market trades lately have been kind of hit or miss, and I'm noticing some of these dip and rips. You know, they present themselves like a gem after the bell.
Yeah, you get a way better entry. I noticed, man. Like I don't get FOMO. Like first of all, I taught myself a while ago not to get FOMO, so I don't ever feel like I got to get in right now. Like I don't really care. I wake up when I'm done eating my breakfast and drinking my coffee. Then I'll go see what's up. Like I don't care.
Yeah. What are you trading out of the gate? Like, are you trading NASDAQ? Are you trading OTC?
Honestly, it depends. I'll trade like whatever. It depends. So like if the market's like choppy, or if it's run up too high, like last week, the market was a little like on the overbought side, so I didn't really want to touch anything, and I also didn't really want to play puts on a lot of things because I know when it's overbought, it could actually still keep going up. And my strategy that I use is more of like dip buying and buying the bounce or the bottom reversal. So puts aren't really my thing. So when that happens, I go over to the OTC and I'll play the OTC stuff rather than buying puts and trying to nail something that's about to dip, or buying calls on something where I feel like the entries are terrible, all the stocks ran up too high. The entry's garbage. Like then I don't want any part of it. I feel entry has to be good for me, or I'm not interested.
Yeah, I feel you. I know you played like 3 of them today. I saw BLNK. I know you've been on that thing like just nonstop, man. I see you tweeting. I freaking love that. Yeah. Like, and Microsoft, the diamond stock dudes, just. I know you love your Microsoft.
I haven't played that stock, man. Let me tell you, Microsoft has been the best stock I've ever traded, like ever. Yeah. That thing, it might not make like massive moves like all these other ones that people like, but I'll tell you one thing: that stock is the most consistent, the most easy to read, safest stock that you could trade. And if you learn the patterns with it, which honestly is pretty simple, I mean, it's hard to lose money on Microsoft.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But it's too high, dude.
It's not too high.
I know, but that's what people say.
Oh yeah.
That's the kind of people you get people say.
The thing about it is it's just such a beast, and they're never involved. Have you ever noticed like they're never involved in the scandal? Like Facebook's always in some shit.
Yep. Google's
always in some shit. Apple even gets into some shit, but Microsoft never fucking has any antitrust. Like they never. And I have my own theories about Microsoft, where I feel like they're like protected by the government.
I mean,
I have my own theories. I don't want to get into it, but yeah, I like Microsoft.
I hear you. What's
you have tape over your camera right now?
No, I just I don't know. I got my theories on it. You know?
Yeah.
You're probably not too far off.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I think I don't know. I think that Microsoft handles our internet security, like for the country. Like they do, like, I don't know. I feel like they do some stuff that they don't say that people don't know that they do. But anytime there's hacks or anything, they're the first ones to call it out. Like international hacks and stuff. Like I feel like they work for the government and they're protected. I don't know. I got my little tinfoil hat on.
That's all good. That's all.
I'll tell you one thing. It's the most safest stock you could buy.
Okay.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that before. We said, if you want to hold a stock, I said Microsoft, Verizon, Amazon, Walmart. And I was like, if you want to make money and get in and out, play penny stocks. But
right,
got a lot of people that hold these penny stocks, and then they just waste all their time and money, and they average down. And they hold something for 8 months to make nothing. Stocks, buy
penny stocks
like Microsoft. That's something to hold for your kids or for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. The Microsoft. Have you ever looked at the the old 20-year chart on Microsoft? It's insane. It's so steady. It just goes straight up, but it's so steady.
Yep. Consistent.
I mean, it's a lot of passive investing that kind of keeps the money flow into that, right? It's this 401ks that just buy it every year, buy it every month.
Yeah, that thing's a tank, and it's locked up. I think it's like an 8 billion outstanding shares or something. But I mean, they're all accounted for. There's not there's not that many shares out there that people are like day trading. I mean, the whole thing is like locked up. So it's very secure. Like every time it dips, it comes right back. I don't know. I just really like it a lot.
Yeah,
that's one stock you could like average down on or whatever. But like you were talking about penny stocks and stuff. Like, I don't really average down on penny stocks, but I would average down on that one.
Yeah, exactly. But what was the other one? You played another one today, CRTX. I think you played that one today. Like that one, I know. I saw some tweets coming out of your Twitter. I was like, all right, this guy's on this guy's on a roll today.
I'll play anything, man. I'll play Microsoft, Google. I'll play some random OTC stock. I'll play these like low float, small mid caps. Like I'll play anything as long as if I see an opportunity to make money, I'll play it. And
that's it.
With that one, same deal. I mean, I don't know how people don't see or understand the potential, or like see the potential in these plays. Mm-hmm. Or like, but I laugh because when I share these ideas, it happens like without fail every time. I'll post a play, I'll post a chart, and they'll be like, "Oh, you don't think it goes lower? It looks like it's going to go lower." And like I obviously I buy these bottoms all the time, and even when I post these setups, like people don't see it; they just see downside. They're just like, "Oh, nah, it's going to go down."
Yep.
It's like, dude, this shit's not going to go down forever. At some point.
Was that you today that tweeted? You said you're tired of losing money. Stop buying the top.
Yeah,
is that you?
Yeah,
that was you, right? I read that somewhere. I could have sworn that was you.
Yeah, no, because dude, people are buying like just trash, like say garbage entries, man, garbage. Like there's so much shit fucking being pushed out there, like really shitty entries. I'm sorry, people get mad, whatever, but there's trash entries, man. Who's learning bottoms? I want to know.
Yeah.
I don't see anyone doing it. Like, seriously.
Yep, exactly.
Trash entries. People buying stuff with RSIs 95. Like, what are you doing?
Insane. Insane.
So stupid, dude. And then it tanks on them, and then they start to pick the finger pointing.
Yep.
They start blaming, like, oh, this guy pumped it, or this. Like, dude, no. That's not. Or the shorts attacked it. No, that didn't happen either.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's sold off because it's way overbought.
Yeah. So what's I want to just ask you a question. What's your thing on taking profits? Because we kind of covered that a little earlier, and everybody got my opinion on like taking profits. But what's your take? What's your take on that? We kind of came up with a nice analogy. Eric actually came up with it's like it's like you hit a home run, and then you forget to hit to step on home plate. That's basically what it ended up. So what's your take on like taking profits?
With me, I look at the chart and I I could eye it most of the time, where I feel like I could tell where it's going to start to dip. The other thing is like with after hours. It's weird. Like I don't know if you ever noticed, like during the day, the stock's moving like one way.
Yeah.
And then in after hours, they could move way differently, for better or for worse, but it's different, you know? So like tonight, Blink, like I was on the phone, for example. I was on the phone and I just glanced at I took a glance at my phone and I realized Blink was like ripping over 29. And I was like, holy shit, you know, because I had like 1,000 shares or whatever. And I was like, oh, damn. So without even thinking, I sold, you know, because it just like, I was up a shitload because we were loading it since like 26. And I was in and out of it all day. And then, you know, my last time I got into it was around 28. So I saw it go up again. It's like 29. I was like, oh, shit. So without like just gut instinct, without looking at the chart, without looking at anything, it's like, oh, damn, got the move. I'm out.
Yep.
You know, I'll reload the dip tomorrow if there is one.
Exactly.
But,
did you have that at 2? Did you have it at 2 and 4 originally?
Yeah, I've always loved that stock, man. Like that stock is like, because the way I see it is like, you know, listen, if EVs, and I don't understand why people don't see this. If, and I could be wrong, you know, I don't know, but I just think like if EVs are going to take off, they're all going to need to charge somewhere. And I don't know how many companies have these chargers, you know?
Yeah.
So the question is, do you think Blink is going to double their revenue in the future compared to what it's at now? Like it's a pretty much has to be a yes, right? I mean,
not as competitive.
Are they going to lose
competitive as a market as the actual car production? You know,
exactly. The car production's insane, but they all need to universally charge, and they all could use the same charger. So it's like, if people are going to buy more EVs, then Blink should increase their revenue. No,
Yeah.
I mean, as long as the addressable market keeps growing and they keep adding size to the infrastructure, you know, nationwide, globally,
right?
Because essentially, once that infrastructure is completed and that market is saturated, I mean, what does that business become at that point? I don't think we're going to have to worry about that in our lifetime, but that is a concern. I think a headwind for that industry. That, you know, once that charging infrastructure is built, then what? Then they become a service business. You know?
Yeah. Yep. Well, that's so. That's the thing. I guess what I'm saying is, like, do you think their infrastructure is totally maxed out, right? Like it's not going to be built out anymore? Obviously not. They always keep getting new contracts and stuff. Yeah. And speaking of that, a buddy of mine is actually looking to go into business, opening like a charging. I don't even know what it is. He didn't tell me the whole plan yet, but it's something like I forgot, like a bar, a lounge, or some kind of like thing where like you're gonna go there to charge your car, but there's gonna be, you guys there?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's like trying to make a business out of it. Like you go, like while you're charging your car, you like do stuff. Like I don't know.
Eat a bag of chips and the soda.
I don't know, something like I don't know. But
I want to know how many of these companies are not just approaching existing infrastructure like gas stations and just retrofitting a few of their pumps. You know what I mean? I don't think there's really a need for like a new piece of property. It's kind of like there's definitely a business opportunity where you're just retrofitting existing gas stations at that point. I'm sure somebody's doing that. Yeah,
you could. I think the difference is like the way they're. I think that it's like the layout, like the space. You can't just have like a car sit at the pump for like 30 minutes. Like, they have to like rearrange the layout or something. But yeah, I agree.
A lot of it's based on state incentives as well. Like, you know, I actually work for a power utility out here on Long Island. I work in commercial energy efficiency, so I'm somewhat well versed in this area. And And a lot of it is based on incentive from local and state utility, government, federal. A lot of the grants and state money usually accelerates that infrastructure to get produced on a much faster timetable. And as long as that money is available, the quicker projects like this get put out, whether they be lighting projects, battery storage, solar. Solar is a good example of almost what you can use as a barometer to the EV charging arena. As you see kind of what happened with solar. Solar, everybody and their brother was installing solar panels. And then, once every house, at least out here, I live on Long Island, everybody's got solar panels in the house. So then it just became a service business at this point. It's kind of it's going to go the same way. And then what also happened with solar is all of the incentives dried up. So if you want solar, there's just tax credits. You don't get anything from the utility anymore. So at least for the time being, I know that they're looking at two things, mainly because of the EV. Not only EV charging station incentives like rebates, but also for battery storage as well, commercially and residentially. So, and then at that point, they're retrofitting existing solar, and there's a future in it. Blink is pretty cool. Actually, Swiss in the chat just said NGA, ticker NGA, Lion Electric is a SPAC, signed a deal with ChargePoint, one to keep an eye on along with Blink. Are you familiar with that SPAC, LB? Or do you play SPACs at all?
I play them here and there, but they're here's the beauty of Blink. Mm-hmm. And this is why, even though I get it, people are trying to like make it, they try to find a new angle and like play something else, but Blink's already there and the float is tiny. It's like, off the top of my head, it's like something like 30 million or something. And it's already there. It's already a real company. It's already established. It's, the stock doesn't need to go through any ticker symbol change. It doesn't need to go through, there's no warrants or any nonsense things. There's not this pipe investors, all this crap that like the SPACs have. It's like, it's already there and it's $28. I mean,
I'm just looking at the details right now. 28.25. The float is 25.67, and the short float percentage is 27%. So,
right,
got some room to squeeze a little here.
So it's it's got everything you need. Like you can go try to play the other stuff, but my whole thing with SPACs is that they're like there's so many of them that I'm not knocking any of them, but I just feel like there's so many SPACs and like there's only so much money to go around. I don't know.
They're like the new weed companies where everybody became a weed company. Now everybody's forming a SPAC. It's kind of like 2006. Did you trade pod stocks at all?
No. Well, I don't touch them, but yeah, I know what you mean. Though. Yeah, no, I remember like when weed was like the thing, and like every company started selling. Even now, everybody starts selling CBD. I have a friend who personally just started selling CBD crap in New Jersey, and it's like, everybody's selling it, and it's just.
Oh, those are the best stocks to trade. The stocks that are CBD, Bitcoin, COVID stocks, all in one.
Oh yeah,
sounds like IGC.
IGC is a trucking CBD COVID Bitcoin play. It's amazing. That's why I put my entire life savings
in India. Why not?
Yeah. In India, yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, it's crazy. But going back to your point, laidback, you said something about SPACs and stuff. And what I mentioned this earlier is like the SPACs are what you want to look for is the ones that attach themselves to like the big names. I mentioned earlier BFT, like that one is attached to Twitch. Which is obviously Amazon bought out Twitch, Roblox, Fortnite. It's got like that aspect to it. It's so like you want to look for these SPACs that attach themselves to a bigger name, and then that's what you want to you see the value there. Like that one has like a $9 billion is valuation at $9 billion, got a $2 billion pipeline. Like you want to look for like things that have value in them and have like good long-term potential.
That's why I was a big fan of AMCI.
Yeah.
AMCI was like 9 million float, and then I got into some argument over some clown on Twitter saying, "Oh no, the float's not 9 million. It's like, all right, whatever, dude."
Yep.
But the outstanding shares is 9 million. I don't give a shit about all the stuff afterwards. But right now, outstanding shares is 9 million,
9 million. You're
And
right. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
some clown tried to tell me it was like something else. I was like, all right, whatever. I don't care. All I know is it's 9 million, and the market cap is extremely low for a stock like that.
Yeah.
And they have some. I think they already had some stuff with like other larger companies. Like that's a massive company. The market cap's way too low for that. Like the upside on that stock is pretty huge. So I like that because it's a low floater.
Mm-hmm.
Same reason I like CRTX. You know, the stock I was talking about. I've been in it for 2 days. That stock I was talking about today. It's a 16 million float. I don't even think people realize that, but I try to stick with all low float stocks.
Exactly.
So, and a lot of them, the market cap is much lower than it should be. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of our stacks that we're looking for, you know, especially like, you know, like the day trade. When we're day trading, we're looking. Our filters are all set to like low flow stocks because that's what we want to look for. You want to look for that. You want to look for volume. You know, you want to look for what's, you know, what you know, the chart that's set up, you know, nicely, and then, you know, like if the thing is like it's got an average volume like 300K, right, and then like when it ran, it went up to like a million, like. You know, when it ran at like a million shares, a million volume, like, you know, that's gonna be that's gonna be one that's gonna run. Like, you want to look for stuff like, you know, that's bottomed out. You know, you want to look for stuff that's got, you know, potential. Like sometimes I don't even care about like I don't even care what the company does sometimes, man. Like I'm not even kidding.
No.
I don't even like I'm just looking at what looks good to me and like what I can run. Like if it you know, something, if a news drops up where like, hey, we got a partnership with Amazon, like that's just a home run for me. Like I'm not even looking for home runs. If it comes, it comes. You know, so like I'm looking for like base hits. I'm in, I'm out. What's the next one? You know, let's find the next one. You know, because there's tons of plays out there. So don't get married to one, you know?
Dude, I don't know. Half the time, I don't even know what the companies do. And I don't even look at their financials like, probably say 99% of the time. I don't care.
Yeah.
I look at the technical setup and the float, and I'll skim through the news feed just to make sure that nothing crazy happened before I buy it. If I skim through the news feed, everything looks fine. And the technical setup is good. The float's nice. I'll buy it. I don't care. Why do I have to sit? I don't have to sit there for hours doing research. Like I do DD in 1 minute. My DD takes. I'm not even trying to like show off or brag or whatever, but my DD consists of less than 1 minute of doing what I do. Could usually do it in 30 seconds, honestly. Yeah. And I'll decide. I found CRTX over the weekend. For those who don't know, I found that stock over the weekend. Looked at it for 30 seconds and I said it was a buy because I didn't see any bad news. I saw Citibank downgraded it with some bullshit, but I didn't see any bad news from the company. And I saw the RSI was like 26 and I was like, okay, this is a buy. Citibank's a bunch of clowns and there's no bad news. So, and it's a 16 million float. I'm buying it. It was recently $58 a couple of days ago. So that's a buy. All day long. That took me 30 seconds to figure out.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a question for you just regarding that. So what kind of strategies do you typically implement? Like me, I'm generally a day trader and a swing trader, and I find that when I go beyond two strategies, my attention gets diluted. I can't do anything well at that point. So I typically try to stay to two different things. Like I could trade multiple patterns within those strategies, but you know, like right now I'm just day trading and swing trading. I don't mess with options. I don't mess with OTC. You know, what are you kind of focused on? And you know, how many strategies are you currently trading? And if you trade more than two, how are you able to do that?
So I put almost, I want to say like almost all my trading revolves around charts. And I hate to say it all the time because it sounds like corny, but everything I do is charts, like everything. So my strategy consisted a long time ago of like figuring out how to read the charts right. Because I figured if I could do that, then I could basically trade whatever I want. So then once I figured that part out, I looked for there's a particular setup that I like on the chart when it looks a certain way. And that's what I play.
Yeah.
Like if I see that pattern, or
Right.
there's many patterns, but if I see one of the many patterns that I like, then I play it.
So you're
Mainly bottom.
you're generally trading you're buying technicals and selling fundamentals essentially.
I'll buy technicals, I sell technicals, and I'll buy fundamental. Like I'll buy from a fundamental level. I'll buy if there's no reason not to buy.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
for example, you see a stock, CLDR, for example. I like that one. It didn't do anything, but I liked it because it had a solid earnings and it didn't really get the pop that it was supposed to get. So I figured that was, but that didn't do anything though. That kind of sucked. Best Buy,
BBY
Best Buy had solid earnings. Okay, had solid earnings, and so fundamentally, it's a good buy in my opinion. Technically, way oversold, and had the best earnings in the history of the company. And we're going into the holiday season. So fundamentally, like I said, there's no bad news. I'm seeing the stock is like in the basement for no reason. There's no bad news. So fundamentally, it's a buy to me. And sometimes it just takes a few days for these things to bottom out. But same thing with Ping. The Ping was another recent one of the. What I do is I look at stocks and I like I was saying, like if there's no reason not to buy it, then you should buy it. Like if you can't find the fundamental reason not to buy it, like if something didn't happen, then like something bad didn't happen, then there's no reason not to buy it. These analysts are wrong like 90% of the time anyway.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
If an analyst,
I bought Amwell Health the other day because Kramer didn't like it, and I went trading at 22 to 32.
Yeah. See, like, dude, these guys are just like anybody else. They're just like a guy with an opinion.
Yeah.
But as long as like the company itself didn't do anything bad, then, who cares what they say? I don't care what, there's a clown at Goldman Sachs, hates on every stock. And then meanwhile, he's like always wrong, you can't listen to them. You have to listen. You have to look at it yourself and figure out if it's a buy or not. A lot of times they knock these stocks down and they present awesome entries.
Yeah.
So
definitely. Let's move on to another thing. I'm not. I know you're super big on like option trading, and those for the people tuning in right now. I'm sure some of them are probably knowledgeable and some aren't. But can you enlighten us a little bit on just talk to us a little bit about option trading and how they work and how you play them?
Yeah, I don't play them as heavy as people think I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I know them. I play them, but a lot of people think a lot of people get too into it, or that's all they do. And those people lose a lot of money. But yeah, no. So what I do is I try to buy time. I try to buy a month out or a month and a half out, and I try to buy in the money or at the money. And I'll usually buy when the technical setup is there, and then I'll use options to play the move.
So you're looking at the charts basically to tell you, what looks set up. Then I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I never. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the thing with options is you need a good entry, and I'm sure you guys know if you ever played them. If your entry sucks, you're losing money right away.
Yeah.
So, I figured that part out too. It's all right, well, I need a good entry if I'm going to buy these things that are so volatile. I want a good entry. And, I mean, the best time to buy is if a stock's really, really, really ripping, you want to maybe start looking at puts, or if a stock's a lot of times SPY is selling off like crazy. And that's the time to buy SPY calls. You don't want to buy SPY calls while it's running. You buy it when after a massive dump. That's when you start buying SPY calls. Because what I figured out, what I noticed anyway, is it's like a seesaw, right? So the big boys or whoever's loading these things, they'll jump to the other side because when SPY's tanking, what happens is the calls get super cheap, and then the puts get super expensive, and the upside on the puts becomes less and less because they become inflated, while the upside on the calls increases because they get so cheap. It's like penny stocks, right?
Yeah.
So, then they'll switch to the other side. They'll load those because they could actually make more money buying those. So then they'll dump all the puts and they'll go load the calls. And then you get the technical bounce or reversal or, whatever. A lot of times it's just a stupid news headline or a dip. But yeah, so I look try to always be ahead of the crowd and do the opposite of what they do.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah. So. But I don't really, honestly, I don't like options too much. Like, I like them, but I have more fun buying them. Yeah. See, for the stocks that I like, options are good for like stocks with heavy fat share structures and stuff, but like low floaters, the options always have a massive spread on these low floaters. So sometimes the options aren't as liquid, and you need to buy if you want to trade the stock. Like, I noticed a lot. I actually alerted something that stock today, CRTX, right? Mm-hmm. I posted it on Twitter, and someone commented, and they're like, I don't see any options flow or open interest. I'm not seeing what you're seeing. And I was like, thinking to myself, well, I'm not even looking at the options, It's like,
yeah.
But, so I think people sometimes, like, they only look at options or they don't trade. And a lot of these low floaters are gems, but you can't trade the options on them because they're just the spread is massive,
Yeah.
So.
Gotcha. Well, I know you post a lot of stuff on Twitter, and like you got a lot of like good hits and stuff, but I think what I find funny is your gift game. Like your gift game, like my favorite one I'm gonna put up on the screen here is the dog one. I'm loving this dog one on the laptop. Like let's see if it's gonna load up in a second here. I'm like but it just makes me laugh every time I see that thing. And like all it is just like a ticker symbol and then the dog. I'm like, I'm just done, man. It's just hilarious. It's freaking great. And then and then the other one when you posted like Best Buy, like it's like BBY is the ticker, and then and then you post like the what do you call it, the dancing baby, the infamous dancing baby. There he is on screen there.
That's the best one, dude.
That thing kills me every single time.
He's like humping the wall.
Yeah.
I love that fucking thing, dude.
Just got me dying every time I see that thing. I'm like, oh my god, this guy's killing me. Like, I'm laughing out, like I'm at work and laughing my ass off at that.
Dude, you gotta have fun with this stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
I love it. It keeps my day very light.
You gotta have fun with this stuff because this is a boring job.
Yeah.
Like, let's face it, it's super boring. If it wasn't for Twitter, and like. If like Twitter didn't even exist, like, this shit's boring, man. Let's be honest, right? Yeah. So it's fun making money, but it's still boring.
Yeah. No,
so
I agree.
I have a question. So how did you get into trading?
It's just I used to work on like Wall Street. I used to be a stockbroker, and then years after that, I don't know. I just got into penny stocks. Like a friend of mine. Basically got me into like trading the penny stocks. I really wasn't trading them. And then I started with that. And then from there, I just started building on that. I got bored with, penny stocks are fun, but it's such a limited, like, I don't like to be limited in anything I do. Like, anything I do, I want to know like everything. If I want to know, I want to know how my car works. I want to know how my engine works. Like, I want to know stuff. So like, trading was fun. I liked it, and I was like, okay, but now I want to know more.
Yeah.
And then I started just like learning more and trying to expand on it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. My friend got me into it.
You ever blow up an account?
Oh yeah, when I first started, I did. But it wasn't a lot of money because I would deposit like $2,000 into an account and then like lose it, and then do it again and lose it. You know, I never deposited like a bunch of money and lost all of it. Like it wasn't like that. I would blow up like small amounts.
Yeah.
And
What's
then
your, I guess as a follow up to that question, what's your best trade you've ever had?
The best trade I ever had was this. It was like a OTC stock. Was like
that's mermaid.
Huh?
I said that's where people make their money right there.
That's it.
Yeah, no, the best
nuts.
trade. I was going over it. I was actually going over it the other night. It was like from like 11,000 to 100,000 in 12 days or some shit.
Jesus Christ.
Something ridiculous. Like, yeah. It was some scam, some phone scam. I don't know. So, whatever.
I mean, that's usually the ones that run, right? The scams.
I
They're
say
like,
that all the time. People comment on my Twitter post. They're like, "Oh, that company's a scam." I'm like, dude, the best money I make is on scams.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is. What people don't understand is like all these fucking stocks are scams, dude. Like all of them. Like even like I don't care, man. Amazon, Tesla, like whatever. They're all fucking scams. If you look at Disney, you know, it's a scam. Like you buy it, you pay $178, and the next day it's $170. Like that's or I got a better one. They front load the options, okay? They front load the options when it's like 123 or something. They drop some bullshit news about streaming. It pops to 128 overnight. They wake up, the guys who front loaded the options dump all the options on the retail guys, and it goes right back to 123 or 120, whatever the heck it was.
Yeah.
This was a few weeks back on Disney. Now, that's a quote unquote real company, right? Still fucking scam shit, if you ask me. So, what's the difference? Like, they're all scams. The whole stock market's just a bunch of bullshit, you know?
Yep.
So,
yeah, the thing is like what I see when I like it when I'm into it like a stock, especially like a penny stock, like I'm not investing in it. Like my end goal is not to invest in this. Like I don't invest in pennies. Like I don't invest in trips. I'm in there for the ride. Give me 200, 300, 500%, whatever it is. Hell, I'll even take like 50%. Give me 20. I'll take it. You know, it's just like I'm in and out. That's it. Move on to the next one. There's 100 more, 100. There's a bunch more you can get into. So
that's why you guys saw TSNP, right?
TSNP? Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I'm laughing. You guys aren't in it, right?
No, we're not. I'm not in it. No, I was just watching that thing. No, I was watching it. That went from triple O to freaking 33 cents, and then down to like 13 cents. People, you know.
Yeah, see that thing.
Yeah.
You can make a shitload of money on that, right? Is a company a scam? I don't know. We figure it out as time goes on. But there's a shitload of money to be made off of something like that. Now, I don't know about now, but from that whole move from trips, I mean, it's exponential gains, you know? Which, by the way, I fucked up. I didn't play it, and I actually missed out on a ton of money. But I'm not sour about it. But the point is, there's tons of money to be made on stocks like that.
Yeah, S4 was another one. AITX is another one that ran from like trips to like, it was just insane. Like those are just, these things just like go. Like you think they're done one day, and then next day they run up another 500%. I'm like, could have just bought S4.
What about these?
But a lot of these stocks that run, I had them and I sold. Like, dude, AITX I alerted 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
What is it? I think MFST is going now. I alerted that in my chat at like trip 4.
Yeah.
What is it? BANT, B-A-N-T. Alerted that one in the 2s. I alert a lot of these bottom setups. They don't go when I alert them. You know, people don't want to buy them when I'm alerting them, but someone else alerts them. They want to buy it when it's up like 300%. I'm like, all right, have fun with that.
Yeah. See you later.
Yeah. How do you know the stock? Well, if you want to call it a stock, it's hardly a stock, but it's been paying me. Mine, M-I-N-E, that trip.
Yeah. What's that thing?
Euro shroom stock.
It's like 666.
Dude, we were buying it. Chris and I were buying it at 222, and we were selling it at 666.
Yeah.
I think it's trip 6 right now. Wow. I know that's. Oh no, it's trip. Yeah. Wow. I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking.
We were just.
this thing was trip one. I know this stock. It was trip one for years.
Yeah, like if you want to buy a total piece of garbage shroom trip stock, like that's pretty much your only option. So anytime shrooms kind of heat up, it's like it starts moving. It's a fun one. And then what's really fun about it is you could pull the GIF where all the seagulls are saying mine over and over from what is that, Finding Nemo?
Yeah.
So there's a GIF where all the seagulls are just going mine, 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 mine. So like anytime I post anything about mine, the first thing I do is I just post that GIF with all the seagulls saying mine.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was like a mushroom play.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, the mushroom stock that is a good one is MindMed, MMEDF, I believe it is. So
that one's just been nuts. It's Canadian.
Yeah,
it's just been.
Chris and I received a good tip by someone who I'm not going to mention, but let's just say they're very influential, and a lot of people know them. And we found out about that very early, and it's been on an absolute monster run. I think it was like $4.50 the last time we looked at it. But these shroom stocks are definitely not something to ignore. And it's the equivalent of all like pot stocks when they were, when ACB was trading at 38 cents.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
if you can pull up the
Dude, I remember ACB when it was. I had ACB when it was 10 cents.
Yeah,
I think it was 6 cents or some shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I really think like eventually this is gonna be. What happened?
Huh?
So what happened? Why are you not on a beach? And
he didn't invest in it, man.
right now.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like that's the thing. Like some of these could go big, but usually they don't. But yeah, I fucking had that one. God damn.
Yeah.
Well, at one point I had about 10 million shares in mine, and I thought I was going to be rich.
Yeah. Well, that's like
it cost me about $280, but you never know.
Dude, I was talking about this with someone else. The hardest part, the people who make the most money with these OTC stocks are, in my opinion, the dumb people, the like new traders who don't know shit and fall in love with the story.
Yep.
They make them like me. I didn't play TSNP, for example. That's the most recent, like, massive runner we could talk about, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't play that one because I know too much, right? So and it hurts me because of what I know. Like, I know they're all pump and dumps and shit. So, like, when I see them, I'm like, another pump, right? Like, so I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, even if I bought that, there's absolutely no way I would have held past like 2 cents.
Yeah.
From trips. Yeah. There's no way. I know myself. There's no possible way I would have held that thing all the way up from trips. No fucking way.
People have this mentality where they're like, they buy shares and then they run on free shares is what they call it. What do you feel on something like that, like on that kind of strategy, like running on free shaars?
Well, we had. I don't know if you're familiar.
I don't do that.
Show. Obviously, it's a fairly new show, and we just want to take the time to appreciate you being here. But 2 weeks ago, we had OTC Bola on our show, and he made a good point that definitely rang a bell for me, and that's people saying that they're on free shares. He thought was total bullshit. He's like, you're paying for those shares one way or another. You're not on free shares.
Yeah.
So that was something that.
Yeah,
I agreed with. Like,
because
your
profits are in it. Like, you're still paying for it.
It's not free shares because if you have, it's like, I don't know. We'll just use a simple number. If you have 1 million shares at 2 cents, it's 20 grand, right? So, yeah, it might be free shares, but it's still 20 grand. And now, if that stock drops from 2 cents to a penny, you just lost 10 grand. I don't care if they're free shares or not, but you just lost 10 grand.
Yeah.
So it's not free. Like, I don't know if I don't see how people can lose 10 grand and be like, oh, it's free shares. I don't care. Or like, someone buys a stock, it goes to 30 cents, like TSNP, and drops down to 10 cents. You lose like 200 grand or whatever. I'm seeing these crazy screenshots.
Yeah.
And like, you're losing 200,000 and you're like, oh yeah, it's free shares or whatever. Like, you gotta be kidding me, man. That's money. Like,
yeah,
no,
exactly. Like, that's a house. That's a
it's
nuts.
That's not free share. That's a bunch of money, like regardless of what you want to call it.
That's leverage. That's leverage.
Exactly. Like stuff like that, you want to like just like me personally, like if I had that, like I would just be selling it and moving that onto something else. Like it would be the next play. What's the next thing? What's the next thing that's gonna move? 500. Sure, whatever. If that's what they want to play, they want to play pennies. They can play other pennies. There's a bunch of other ones that do the same thing.
Well, I was trying to drop a hint. I don't like to bash flat out anymore, like especially penny stocks. I did it years ago, but I don't like to do it anymore because it's, even if you're trying to make a good point and you're trying to like teach people something, it bashes the stock and like people get pissed and you start a whole bunch of nonsense online. But I was trying to explain to people, like, the stock runs from like trips to like 30 cents or something, right?
Yeah.
The money was, you remember DCGD years ago?
Oh,
last year,
yes.
2 years ago?
Yeah.
Right. Like, dude, the money's already that thing hit $1, right?
Yep.
The money's already been made. Like, I don't care what comes in or what merges in after. No one cares, dude. Like, the whole play was the run up into the merger or whatever, it's fake merger. Like, that's the play, So the money's been made. All the people who loaded trips made the money. If you're buying at $1, you're not going to make that much. If you're buying at 30 cents, you're not going to make that much. If you're buying at 15, you're not going to make that much. Because the money, all the large holders all dumped out. The only reason TSNP went to where it is because a lot of people bought that thing up and locked it up and held it. But now they're all out.
They bought the story is what they bought. They bought the dream is what they bought.
Yeah. But once they cash out, man, that float's just a mess.
Yep.
Someone's got to buy the shares.
That's true. How are you going to get out of
it? Well,
like, when you think about it, it's like, who's buying these shares up here? It's like, listen, someone's got to buy my shares.
Well, here, mathematically, it's, look, if you buy it at 2 cents, to get to 10 cents, it's still 500%. It's still good. At 5 cents, to get to 10 cents is 100%. It's still all right. At 10 cents, if you got to 20 cents, it's a lot of work, but it's still 100%. But at 15 cents or whatever it's at, now it's got to go to 30 to make 100%. That's a lot of work, and the risk reward just gets worse and worse the higher any penny stock goes.
Agreed. Completely agree with that.
So,
would you mind taking a few questions? I mean, we asked the chat. I mean, there's been a lot of questions in the chat.
Yeah, real quick.
Scroll through. I mean, we appreciate everybody who's listening live, anybody who's going to listen on the replay later. LB, we really appreciate your time and coming and hanging out with us right now. So we just wanted to kind of open up the chat and maybe take just a few questions. And, I think at the rate we're going, we can go to 1 a.m, but we all got to go to bed.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, real quick. How do I see the chat though? I'm trying to like. I don't even
just
know.
If you go on YouTube, there's I'll send you the link. You could just go on to that. I'll send you.
Just make sure you mute it so you don't hear yourself talking.
That too.
I'm scrolling through the chat right now to try to find some good questions here. But if anybody's
there's a ton. There's a bunch of them here.
Yeah, send me the link though, because I'm just talking. I don't know how any of this works. So.
Yeah, neither do we.
Yeah.
No, we set this up pretty good though. It's better than being on Periscope,
Yeah, no, I've done a bunch of these podcasts, but this is definitely the best way. I like this.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, thank you.
It's good feedback.
Yeah, this works. This is legit.
Favorite sub chart indicator?
The MACD and RSI.
Yeah, I agree. MACD is my go-to with that.
Old school.
I send you the link right there. If you go into
dude, you want to laugh? By the way.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where's the link? I don't see.
On the Zoom call, I sent it through. If you go to like chat on the Zoom call, you probably get it right there.
Yeah, there's. Hold on,
or Erica sent it to you on Twitter.
No, my Twitter app on my iPad.
I gotcha.
Hold on, let me reopen it. It says you sent me a link, but I don't see it. Oh no, wait.
Yeah, just go to the chat and click on that, and it should open up. Let's see. Let's go.
Let's see it. I don't see it, but anyway, let me check. You sent it in the Twitter DM?
Or you can just go, or you can, in the what do you call it, the Zoom DM. You can go on there, or you can just go on Twitter itself, and then just click on the link there. You'll be able to see it.
Yeah, let me grab it here for you.
Yeah. Let me look. I'm gonna go through some of the questions here. Let's see what we got. Let's see. I'm gonna have to scroll up a bit.
Hold on. The YouTube link, I think I found it. So now you're just looking at the chat on YouTube?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. How come I don't see the chat?
It should be on the right side on the video, or at the bottom if you scroll down. What do you call it? The Zoom DM. You can go on.
Yeah.
Just mute the audio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that. I don't know why I don't see the. You have to sign into Google, maybe. Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it should just let you. Let's see. What do we got? See, looked at some of the chats here. As for loading floaters, let's see. What do we got? What are puts? There's a question for you, laidback.
Puts are just it's a way to if you want to short a stock. You know, if sometimes there's no shares available and you want to play the downside, you play puts, or it's just a way to short a stock without putting up as much capital. Like the only two ways to explain it. Okay, I see the chat now.
Here's another question here. Strategies for making money from Adam McKenzie. He says strategies for making money from red days.
Oh, well, so like today, I saw people all across the board complaining today that today sucked or something. Mm-hmm. But the two stocks I was in, CRTX and Blink, they did well. And the reason why they did well was because the technical setup on both was pretty good. Buying bottoms and stocks that sometimes you buy stocks that are not in the S&P or the Dow Jones. They're not as affected by the market as much as your Apples and your Microsofts and all those. So sometimes you want to buy stuff that's not in there, and I always look for like just gem opportunities, like bottom setups where the risk is minimal, and that's why I play those. You know?
LB, I've been playing the VIX. Do you play the VIX at all on weird days?
No, I used to, but not anymore.
I'm liking the UVXY lately as a momentum trade on those down days. I found a couple good day trades off of it lately.
Usually, honestly, what I'll do is I'll just those are the days when I'll play pennies. Like I'll play penny stocks.
Yeah, it's true. That as well.
Like it's easier for me because, like I said, like these, it might look overbought to you or me, but that doesn't mean it's going to dip right away. And I hate seeing red. Like I hate buying something, and I'm red on it. Like I don't like that. So if rather than like, you know, praying that it dumps or something, I'll just go do something else. Like I'll just go play penny stock with me.
The only thing better than being green on a green day is being green on a red day. You know.
Oh yeah.
Like last year, my best trade of the year last year was the TVIX. I mean, I was buying it at like 40, and then I was riding it all the way up to 1,000 a share. The TVIX isn't even a product anymore. You can't even buy it. But
I like the VXX. If I was like that's the dude. Last year, right before the dump, we were gonna buy. Me and a couple of people, we were gonna buy the VXX at like 14, literally right before it fucking ripped to like 70, whatever it was, 70 or 60. I don't know, but. It ripped, and like we were about to buy it.
The TVIX, I got in the TVIX right before COVID because I was just playing just like economic things that were going on, and then COVID was just like it helped in a weird, you know, unfortunate way. But I was in TVIX right before COVID hit, and then TVIX literally went from 38 and change a share all the way to 1,000 in like
it was just nuts.
6 weeks.
Yeah, no, they're wild. These things.
Yeah. I see another question here. Thoughts on the psychedelic sector long term? I think we covered it earlier. We were talking about, you know, it's like early. It feels like early marijuana stocks. You know, especially with MMEDF. There's a bunch of them, but I like MMEDF just because it's got the Kevin O'Reilly and it's got the Bruce Linton. You know. And you know that it's got that side, you know, he's got big investors, good names behind it. I don't know if I can say about Bruce Linton, but but Kevin O'Reilly, I can talk good about him. But
O'Leary, just so everybody's familiar.
Yeah.
The guy from
O'Reilly, no.
the guy from Shark Tank.
Shark
at the end
Tank,
of the
Shark
day,
Tank
for
guy.
those of you who
Yeah.
are not familiar. But yeah, I mean,
Mr. Wonderful.
I think as far as shrooms, it's just like the pot stocks, where it's just everybody's popping up with a shroom company, but time will tell, and the cream will come to the top, and a lot of them are going to fail, and a lot of them are going to consolidate, and you're already seeing that now with the marijuana industry. I mean, you see this Tilray and Afria deal that's probably getting announced as soon as tomorrow, and it's something that we've been talking about since 2016. It's like the top names are going to come to the top. A lot of them are going to fail, and you're going to see sector-wide consolidation. So I think it's going to be a similar fate for shrooms as it is for, or I should say, psychedelics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah,
no, it's all good.
No, yeah, I think it's gonna be just like marijuana, or Bitcoin or anything else, like where these stocks start popping up left and right.
It's like a trend. Basically, it's what it is. It's just a trend, Like marijuana was huge, in 2018. When that started.
Yeah,
and
personally,
then it just started,
honestly, I wouldn't invest. I wouldn't get too caught up in these mushroom things. Like honestly, I really wouldn't. I think, people. Like I said, I was talking about this in private with you guys there.
Yeah, we're here. Yep.
Okay, no, because the sound went weird. No, I was talking about this in private in my chat, and I was saying I think Blink could go to $60. Like, I'm not kidding. Like people are sleeping on this. Like all your favorite traders, they're all sleeping on it. I don't see anybody on it. I just see myself. And in regards to the people that people follow, I don't see people alerting these stocks, and I'm just like, all right, whatever. But I think that the upside is still in EV, man. This marijuana stuff is here today, gone tomorrow. But the EV, that stuff is literally just starting. People are still 90% of people are still driving gasoline cars. So always remember that the EV sector is still in the infant stage. It's not done, and it's not hype, and it's not bullshit. It's real. In the next 10 years, we're still going to be transitioning to EVs.
Yeah, the change is happening right in front of us, and we, a lot of people are,
not seeing it.
Yeah, it's happening right in front of our eyes. It's just
that's what I mean.
Going from flip phones to to that first iPhone. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it just happens.
I think people are really not understanding exactly what's going on, and I think they're discounting a lot of these plays. And I think, they really need to take a second look at these EV stocks. I don't think I think there's a lot more upside in that than there is in marijuana. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that's left for marijuana is U.S.-based MSOs on legalization. But who knows when that's going to happen at this point? The Northeast market is going to be good for companies like Curaleaf and a few other U.S.-based companies. But I mean, me personally, I'm looking at every Canadian company just as a trade.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's what do people need tomorrow, and it's really not pot as much as it is electric.
Yeah, dude, pot is it's not a big. Like I said, I think the best way to make any money is to always try to think ahead and think, which company has the most potential to grow. And I don't think, like I said, I don't think marijuana and drugs and shit. I don't think those are going to be where people are going to be investing their money. I think to get back to what I was saying with EVs or just other new startup companies.
Space. I mean, I don't want to open up a can of worms here, but anything related to space, not so much tourism, but even just space exploration, payload companies. There's a company going public next year called Momentous. They trade, they're doing a SPAC kind of deal, but that's been a good one, at least for me. They're kind of last mile delivery. So I'm looking at space. I put a lot of that in my son's account. He's 2 years old. So
another one,
space is going to be huge by the time he's 30. You know what I mean?
Yep.
another one. I agree with you. I don't disagree. I think space is going to be massive.
Yeah.
Because like
We're gonna
the Earth
explore,
is
right?
like destroyed.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to go somewhere. So.
Yeah.
So something we were chatting about prior to bringing you on the show was being from New York, and we started joking around about pizza and this and that. And I know that a lot of people like talking about this, and I'm one of them.
Yeah, pizza's awesome.
Could we dig into that before it gets too late? I definitely want to make sure that we're on the same page. That Umberto's is probably the best pizza around. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty good. It's tough, man. Like being in New York, there's a lot of good pizza. Like, so it's hard to call them number one, but it's definitely up there. It's definitely like a top 3, maybe.
Where are you from?
I'm in Yonkers right now.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Yeah, it's just north of where I used to.
Chris is originally from New York.
Yeah, I grew up.
So you probably know Johnny's Pizza.
Oh yeah.
In Mount Vernon.
Yep.
dude, that pizza to me is number 1 in New York. That's just great. My opinion. It's amazing, and it's like it doesn't get more official than that place. Like the whole family. You can't even work there if you're not in the family. Like they have their granddaughter, grandfather, son, daughter, mother. The whole family works there.
Everybody's working there. Yep.
You can't work there like if you're not in the family, and like it's that place is like the real deal. And they have the sauce over the cheese, so the sauce cools off faster and the taste is better. You don't burn your mouth, and it's thin, crispy. Perfect.
Yeah.
What about this name? And if any of you tell me you don't know this name, just hang up the phone. What about Grimaldi's in Garden City?
Yes. Yep.
Grimaldi's is really good. Aren't they like the family related to the heck's the other one? Lombardo's or something?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. They're originally from Brooklyn. The Grimaldi.
Or aren't they related to like Spumoni Gardens or some shit?
I don't know. I'm not super familiar with that, but
yeah,
they have really, really good pizza and a very good restaurant menu as well.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Coal Fire. I love that.
Oh. Dude, nothing better than like the pizza when it's like you grab it and your fingers turn black.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's one of my favorite spots that like closed down. Was actually on it was on like West 4th Street. By like
closed down.
Yeah, it actually closed down. It closed down back in like 2016. Like I knew the owner, and I did like because I do graphic design, so I used to do work for him. His menus and all this stuff. It was called it was known as a Famous Ray's Pizza, and then he changed the name to a Rorio's Pizza.
You know the scam with the Ray's Pizza. Right?
Yeah, I know. Yep. That everybody had like the you got Famous Ray's, original Rays. Yeah.
The Famous Ray's is like the biggest scam. Like most of them are fake and scam pizzas. But
they traded on the OTC.
Dude, it's funny, man. The pizza reminds me of stock. You have always like scam fucking pop up. It's so funny, man, how similar this shit is. But man, the Ray's Pizza is like the biggest scam going in New York City.
Or Sbarro's.
So that's probably why I changed. Oh my god, don't even.
It's like Sbarro's.
Yeah.
It's like $8 for a slice of like the crappiest pizza you've ever had.
The worst. Dude.
And it's like a freaking Sicilian slice, the square pizzas. Like that's what you get.
So have you guys ever had Little Vincent's Pizza?
No.
All
right, so check that out. So there's a place if you're ever in Huntington, New York. There's a place, Little Vincent's. The original place is actually in Lake Ronkonkoma, which is like a bike ride away from my house, and that's the original. But Little Vincent's been around for a very long time. But what a lot of people don't know, what they do know or should know is at least the place in Huntington. When I was a little younger and I used to get a little crazy in that town, they have what's called cold cheese pizza there. So if you guys ever heard that, so what that is that's when you get super drunk at 3 a.m. and they stay up. They're open all night, and all the drunks that come out of the bars in Huntington go get cold cheese pizza. And pretty much all they do is exactly that. They take a slice of pizza, they charge you an extra $1.50 or $2, and they literally just throw more cold cheese right on top of it. And they either serve it to you like that because you're either just a drunk mess and it's amazing, or
Yeah.
you can put it in the oven a little bit longer and kind of melt it down a little bit. But Little Vincent's cold cheese pizza at 3 in the morning is like one of the
That's
best
interesting.
experiences there is.
I see someone in the chat says
Dude, you know what place
DeFara's
I used-
Pizza. That's one.
That-
Yeah, I know that one. That's in Brooklyn.
Somebody
These
knows
guys
cold
that-
cheese. Somebody in the chat knows cold cheese. That's
Cold
awesome.
cheese.
Yeah, this guy, Will. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't. Did you guys ever go out to Sutton Place, like 52nd and 2nd over there?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I've been around.
Dude, there's that pizza spot in the corner on 52nd. I used to go there all. I don't even know what the fuck it's called, but every time I would come out there like wasted, I like the pizza is fucking amazing. You know what I mean? That was like my spot.
Only at night though. I mean, how did it taste during the day?
Yeah, right.
Never
had
in
it.
the day.
Never had it.
Trash. I don't know.
The
That's
worst
cold
pizza.
cheese pizza, man. Cold cheese is the same thing. It's like if you're eating that sober, it's like you got to check your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I used to hang out and I used to hang around St. Mark's place in Astor. You know, like 3rd Avenue, 2nd Avenue, East 2nd Avenue. And there's like this pizza place. I used to just come out of the bar. There's an Irish bar called McShirley's. Like I usually go there, I'd fucking get wasted and shit, and then like right down the street, like literally like if you go around the corner, there's a place called Two Bros Pizza. It's $1 slice. It's it's like a flattest like cardboard eating pizza, and when you're like drunk at like 2 o'clock in the morning, dude, that thing is gonna like they're open because they know everyone passes by and stuff. They got like tattoo shops, they got like all like down that home place is just like always open, it's always fucking alive. It's insane.
Dollar
But
pizza,
that
man.
pizza,
Dollar pizza is the best.
it was $1, dude. It's I mean I think that place is
Oh,
still
yeah.
open too. It's Two Bros.
There was a
Two
dollar
Bros.
pizza
They got
down
like
by
a chain.
there was a dollar pizza down by the World Trade Center years ago,
Mhm.
and it was
Didn't they
like
have Mike's?
really good
Mike's?
pizza.
Was it like Mike's Dollar Pizza or some shit too?
Yep.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking
that's
nuts.
a New York. I think that's a New York thing.
Yeah.
The dollar
It's a-
slices.
It's $1 slice. Hey, you got a buck? Like the people just passing by the street. Hey, you got $1? Let me go buy. I'm gonna buy a pizza. It's like, that's exactly what they say.
Dude, it's honestly, I feel bad for the people that have shitty pizza where they live. It's
So like
such
me
a-
right now. Jesus Christ,
What-
man!
where do you live now?
I'm in Naples, like man. I remember
Oh.
I sent you like some screenshots, like I took some pictures, like, and I tagged you on Facebook. I think I put like Zach Morris on it too. I was like, yo, Zach,
Yeah.
what are you eating?
Oh man,
And-
dude, Zach had a fucking terrible pizza the other day, man. I
Yeah.
love Zach.
He's in Texas, isn't he?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, he said
Yeah.
he said his pizza in Texas is just complete trash. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll open up a shop. We'll open up a shop in Texas, and then serving some coal fire stuff. So.
It blows my mind, man. Like these other states just can't get it together. I don't know. It just
Yeah.
blows my mind. I think it's in the water. They say.
It is.
Yeah.
The closest pizza I've ever had to New York was in California. It wasn't that bad. It was like thin crust, and it was pretty close. And they asked me because they just hear the way I talk, and they're like, "So,
Yeah.
so what do you think?" And I'm like, "It's all right."
Artichoke pizza.
Doable.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
yeah. Ugh.
it's tough. I went to a place the other night. Actually, the most recent one I posted up the other night. The pizza look. I went to the spot around me. I never actually had it. That was my first time.
Mhm.
The pizza looked good, but the sauce was bland. I like a tangy
Yeah.
sauce. The sauce was like bland. I didn't have any flavor, and it just killed the pizza. Other than that, the ratio of like cheese to sauce and dough and
The
everything, was, like,
ratio.
it was perfect. Yeah, I get like really into it, you know.
Yeah.
But the pizza was perfect, but the sauce was trash. So like,
Yeah.
you know,
I prefer a thicker
sometimes-
sauce. That's me personally, though.
I just like it to be like a little tangy. You
Yeah.
know?
I feel you.
I
I
found a
don't
great
like-
place by me lately. Like, there's nothing better than finding like good pizza 5 minutes from your house.
Mhm.
And if anybody's familiar with Long Island, there's pizza everywhere.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's my wife and I we're somewhat pizza critics. So we found a place out here that it checks all the boxes. Honestly, it's really crispy and just everything about it's not too salty and like everything that we look for in just a regular pie, like nothing crazy. And what I've been doing too to take it home like extra fresh, which is just as important as anything else, is originally a Domino's pizza delivery guy. That the only reason why I was eating that, for the record, is because I was doing construction on my house and we were ordering Domino's. But he left his pizza bag at my house. And so I have a Domino's pizza bag, like one of those delivery.
Oh wow, yeah,
yeah. So like I wasn't gonna call. Like I'm like, they got plenty of these bags. Fuck them, you know. Like I'm keeping this. So so to this day, like I have a Domino's, heated pizza bag, and I bring that to the pizza shop, and I look like a crazy person when I walk in. And I'm just
awesome.
like, I put the bag on the counter, and everybody's like, who the hell is this guy? I put everything in my Domino's pizza bag. I walk out of there. I'm waving at people with my pizza bag.
That's legit, honestly.
You know what, dude? When I get home, my pizza is hot.
Exactly.
Dude, that's like super. That's actually like legit, man.
That's like next
level. Get yourself a pizza bag. I'm sure you can find them. I'm sure you can find them on eBay or something. I mean, I got mine out gratis, but I'm sure you could find them. You know.
No, yours is like is it the heat wave bag? That's
yeah,
dude. It's straight up. It's got a Domino's logo on it. Like it's a professional pizza bag.
All you need is the hat and the jacket, dude. You can freaking deliver pizzas if you want.
The little light on my car. But let me tell you something. It's all about bringing it home the right way. That's almost more important.
Oh yeah, you got to put it on the floor of your car. You can't put it on the seat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got to be level, and it's got to be in the bag. And
if you put it on the seat, you get to stick something under it, so it's flat. Yeah,
exactly.
So, that's all I got.
Don't you feel like pizza in New York turned into like the weed stock craze, where like everyone started selling, even like you had like Albanians like selling pizza, and you had like like I'm not hating anyone, but everyone's selling pizza.
Everybody. Yep.
Everyone's trying to make money selling pizza.
I used to work at this graphic place right on what is it, 6th on 6th Ave, 6th and 8th, and they used to have or 36. It was 36 in 8th Ave, and they like right next door there was like Indian shop just like selling pizza. Like they just opened their shop up like 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'm going here to eat some pizza. I mean, it wasn't bad or anything, but I'm not complaining. But it's right next door.
Dude, everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
But it reminds me, it's literally, dude, all these things in life are all the same. It's like they see an opportunity, everyone wants to do it, and then it's like, whatever. There's a dime a dozen. And just to tie it back into stocks, that's how these weed stocks are, these mushroom stocks. It's going to be a dime a dozen, and then they're going to be like, whatever.
I mean, same thing with COVID stocks. COVID stocks is a great example of people that changed their whole company to focus on a vaccine or like masks, like just anything. Like they just switched gears. Before they were selling like gym trunks, and now they're now they're doing COVID masks and stuff. I mean, I'm not hating on that. It's great. You adapted to the situation. You made the best of it. And you stayed in business. That's really what it's about. You got to adapt and change. With the times. So, and that's what a lot of these companies did, which is I commend them for it. To be honest, it's great. So, and that's how they're staying above. Like now, I can't say the same thing for a lot of other companies, but like for those that actually did go out and adapted that way, like they're actually they managed to stay above during all these harsh times now. So it's great.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough watching these all these the ones that survive will be strong. This is actually something I wanted to say earlier, but then the topic changed, so I just went with it.
Yeah.
But now is a good time to say it because we're talking about it. One of the stocks that I think will be great for the long term, especially after COVID, is Blackstone. And I'll tell you why. My theory on it. People that are in my chat, I have my laid back trading chat. I told them when it was $50, I said that one's going to be. That everyone, they ask me from time to time, what's your favorite stock like to hold long term? And I say Blackstone, right? Mm-hmm. Not to be confused with BlackRock. Blackstone is the one that's like $60.
BX is the BX. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
So it was $50 when I told them. It's now like over 60. So it's 20% gain from when I told them. And I didn't tell them that long ago. But that stock, I think, is going to be well over 100. I think the stock's going to be like 150 one day. And the reason is they do a lot of private equity. They buy stuff and they flip it and they take stuff over. And with all these businesses getting crushed and real estate getting annihilated, If you ever look at stuff that Blackstone does, they buy real estate. They buy apartment complex. Like they buy anything to make money.
Gotcha.
And they buy companies too. And with these companies getting just destroyed with all these lockdown rules and everything, people losing money, there's going to be a lot of like vulture investors and companies like BlackRock that come in, probably buy the stuff up for cheap and do whatever they do with it and make money with it. And, these private equity type of companies, which honestly, I don't know many besides BlackRock and Blackstone, but BlackRock's like 500, I don't even, $600 or something. I haven't looked at it in a long time. I used to trade that one too. I think BX has massive upside, especially given all the destruction that's going on with businesses and real estate and all this stuff now, commercial real estate. Like these guys are going to come in and they're going to find a way to make money. So I would keep an eye on stuff like that. It's something I don't think anybody's really thinking about, but
it's smart. No, that's a great angle to look at it. That's a
yeah.
good angle to get things out.
I don't really think anyone's really thinking about it, but I am. I love that stock. That's a great stock. We pay a dividend too.
Yeah. All right, let's see. I'm gonna grab like 2 more questions here, and then we'll try to close out the show here before it gets too late. I know everybody needs to sleep and get up early if they're trading. Let's see.
My bad for
no,
asleep.
You're good. You already got your nap, so.
Yeah, I'm up all night.
Yeah. Let's see. Other questions we got here. Let's see. Thoughts on the sector.
I'm up all night, but that's for a different reason. I got a newborn in the house, so I'm going every 2 to 3 hours right now. Yeah, thanks, man. It's my second, so it's about 11. I think within 20 minutes, I'm gonna have to jump off of here.
Let's see. I got a question here. So, Ismail, he says, best strategy for screening stocks that could potentially run big, low float and high short interest, or what? Best strategy for screening stocks that can potentially run big.
They have to have a good float. Not so much short interest, but a good float and a good chart setup, and they have to be, it would be preferable if they're in like a sector that's hot. If it's not in a hot sector, you still make money because it still go up. But no, the key to any of this stuff is to load before these stocks start to take off. But the way to do that is to, find a good setup, find a good company that has, some of them never drop news ever. And like, you do need the news to kind of move it sometimes. I'm not a fan of buying news, but it's cool if the stock drops news all the time. That's a good one. That's preferably where you want to pick something like that. But I like stuff that has a low float and a good chart setup and decent volume. And if it's in the right sector, it'll go. Or if they drop news, you'd be in before the news. But as far as like the ones that are going to run big, like a lot of them just run randomly off news and people chase and stuff. So, I mean, it's hard to find them before they take off. It's not easy. So I don't really even have a good answer for that.
No,
I don't know.
Good. I mean, hey, whatever. That's good.
Yeah, it's hard.
Let's see then. I'm just going to take another question here. Why not just answer this one? Do you anticipate a Santa Claus rally end of year? Any specific plays you're watching for end of year? Like me personally, I'm watching like I think like just Bitcoin on its. Obviously, everybody's watching Bitcoin and stuff, but I'm watching some of these like EV, like these EVs, these SPACs. I'm watching BFT. Like I really like that one. I love I love everything behind that. I love the CEO. I love that it's attached to big names. I think something big is gonna come from there. So that's one I'm just like loading up. I'm shaving off some shares here and there, like on the pumps and stuff. So, but I'm just like really playing that one strategically, to be honest. So, but yeah, laidback. Do you have one that you're looking at and between now and end of year or so? Any nice stock you're looking at?
I'm just
Blink. I
looking
know
at
you said
stuff.
Blink, and I know you said Blink, and then you said.
I like Blink. I like AMCI. I
Mhm.
like BFT. And then I like my random shit. Like I don't like here's the deal.
Yeah.
A lot of people they like I hate these crowded trades. I don't like no offense when I hear you guys talking about stocks that everybody's talking about. It's not you guys in particular, but it's the idea in general. When a lot of people are in a particular trade or a particular idea, it becomes like too crowded, and then the manipulation and the bullshit starts, right?
Yeah, IPOC. Someone just mentioned IPOC. I mean, that's one that's been, everybody's talking about that one on social media, and it's kind of hard. Like it's seeing that stock, a lot of people talking about it, and then not really doing much. I don't know.
That's exactly my point.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, so I personally, I trade so much shit that I don't post about, or I don't like talk about it, whatever. But I like stuff that nobody's like on. So I always, that's part of my trading strategy, is try to find my own shit that is not a crowded trade. Like for example, people tried to play the vaccine, the PFE thing.
Yep.
It totally blew up in their face. And why, right? It's like, because if it's too easy, if it seems like a no-brainer, then that's not the play.
Yep.
You think you're going to buy Pfizer because they got the vaccine, you're going to bank on it. That's not happening. So it's, these very popular crowded trades, I really try to stay away from them. And that's why my strategy is never going to change. I'm always going to look for like these low float technical setups because they're consistently profitable for me.
Agreed.
Whereas like these popular crowded trades are not consistently, I mean, if you get in at the right spot, they're good still, but like they're just a mess when everyone starts getting into it. And I don't know what it is. It's like the market doesn't want people, they don't like people making money. I don't get it. Like they just make it where it's just a manipulated disaster when everyone's in it,
Yeah, I agree.
Just remember SPAC. When SPAC before it turned into Fisker, it was a complete disaster.
Yep. Yep. A lot of people lost their pants on it, and then it just went up, freaking 100% right on them. So, and then now it's retracing back. Yeah, it's like you just gotta know like when the party's over and when the party's like. Get there before the party starts, get there early, put the drinks out, get, pregame if you want. And then when the party's there and everybody's going crazy, everybody's like buying it up, you're going to be out before they do, you want to leave before the party, party's done. So
that's it. Dude, I sold SPAC at like 16 or 17 before the dump. And I only sold it off of technicals.
Yep.
And then there was a pivot point in the chart where I saw it was going to go down. And I sold, and I stayed out of it. But again, it's like Pfizer or like anything else where my strategy involves like staying away from all those kinds of trades. That's why you don't really see me in them. And I think in return, that's why I don't see a lot of people playing my shit, because they probably look at my stuff and like, what the hell has this guy been doing? Like,
Yeah.
And that's fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, if I did have to pick a SPAC, I'd say AMCI, BFT.
Nice.
Those two are really nice.
Yeah. Those are good picks. Eric, what about you? Anything else you got on your Christmas list from now until the end of the year?
No, man. I'm in and I'm out. I'm back in cash. That's it. I mean, look at the top of my Twitter page. I'm out cash. That's how I roll.
I will say this, and I'm not trying to pump on here. I will say wait for dips and load up on dips and stuff, but I will watch Blink for a move. You heard it from me first. Watch Blink for a move to like $60.
You're giving me FOMO.
Not anytime soon.
You give me FOMO, LB.
No. Not anytime soon, but in like the coming months, watch it make a massive move. I'm gonna say it now.
Well, you heard it.
I'm not trying to pump it. Like it'll dip.
Heard it here first.
Yeah.
Yeah. But keep that one up. That's a low floater, man. People always get scared, like, oh, it's $28. It's too expensive. You could still, dude, that stock moves like $3 a day. You make bank on it.
LB, once that stock moves, I'm going to make sure I'm going to clip this audio right here, and I'll send it to you, okay?
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for doing this show tonight. We really appreciate your time.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I always
Thanks,
have
man.
fun.
A lot of fun. Thanks for sticking with us, and we were a little worried about you there for a little bit, but thanks for waking up.
Yeah, dude, I'm spent, man. I'm like, I wake up. These stocks wear me out, man. By 4 o'clock, I'm like, I'm ready to take a nap.
I feel you.
So.
All right, well, Eric, you want to close out?
Yeah, could I just kind of remind everybody, if you could just like our streams, we don't have too many under our belt. We're looking for likes, we're looking for comments, we're looking for feedback for, future guests, content. We just want to, we're doing this for fun. So we're doing it for people, and we're doing it for fun. The intent of this is to bring on guests like LB and just kind of put a voice to a name, and give these guests an opportunity to kind of connect with their own audiences on a different kind of level, on a deeper level, for us to interact with them on that same level. And it's just fun. I think it's kind of just something unique that we're doing here, and we want to keep this going. We want to ramp it up. And
it's good. It's good to have like different people who bring different strategies. Like, I know last week you had OTC Baller. He's good.
Yeah.
And like, it's good to have insight from everyone, because you could learn something from everybody.
That's it.
Exactly.
We have a few more people lined up, into the end of the year, and we already have a few people booked for the new year, which we'll definitely be announcing soon who those people are. But I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised, and they're going to be excited to hear those viewpoints as well, like LB just mentioned. And it's people got to realize it's kind of like us versus the suits, and sometimes there's a lot of BS on social media, and I think platforms like we're producing right now are a good common ground to have these kind of conversations and all get on the same page, because we're all trying to do the same thing. We're all just trying to make money, and trying to just establish security for ourselves, for our family, and
yeah, not to mention, like, for the younger guys who are like thinking about doing this, let's be honest, man, the job market's like trash, right? And college is a joke now. So, not knocking anybody, but like, trading's a really good alternative, and some people might want it and just want to do it, and some people might need to do it because they can't get a job. So all this stuff is good for people that are trying to learn. I don't think people really ever think about that, but sorry to be like all doom and gloom, but
no, it's true.
For a lot of this new generation coming up, like, the job market's going to be completely scarce, and it's really not looking good for them. So for them, they might need to look at something like trading to make a living, or some other people, they just want to learn it as a side thing. But for those that need to learn it, it's great to get input from as many people as possible. And I do think, as a positive, that's my negative, but as a positive, I think there's going to be a shitload of retail money that you're going to see as a result of what I just said before, just now, about the job market being bad. As a result, you're going to have more traders in the market, which is more liquidity and more money. So it's a good and a bad thing, but it's good because you're seeing more action now than you've ever seen before.
Yeah. We appreciate that feedback. You're definitely right. We agree. So I'm going to kind of just wrap up the show. We appreciate everybody who's listening live, who's listening on a replay. We have other videos on our YouTube channel, not just live streams. We have, charting videos. We have educational kind of material. We're going to be ramping that up as well. We hope people find that useful and helpful and can grow from it. The YouTube channel, obviously, that you're on right now. Follow LB on Twitter. He's at laidback. I'm Mass Trades. Again, my name is Eric, but Mass Trades on Twitter. I try to just put out a lot of ideas that I'm kind of floating in my head during the day. And Chris has crossed the grinder on Twitter. And again, leave us comments, like our videos, and we'll keep putting out good content for you. We hope everybody has a good holiday, has a great end to their year. And we're going to be doing another episode on, I'm looking at the calendar here. We're doing it on the 29th. So it's going to be not next Tuesday, the Tuesday after that. We have one final guest before the end of the year. I'm not going to announce who that is right now, but we'll tease it next week time. And then we're also going to just be doing a holiday show with just kind of some guys from our trading group, just like a really kicking it. We'll drink a couple beers and do something like this. That's going to be on the 30th. That's a Wednesday.
Yep.
So we hope everybody could join us then as well. Laidback, thank you. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks, man.
Thank you guys, man. I had a blast. I had fun. I always have fun with this shit.
Yeah, this was fun.
Awesome. I mean, hopefully we can have you on again in the future.
Yeah, I'm usually always. I would totally do it again. I had fun. So,
all right, cool.
Sounds good.
All right,
you guys
thanks,
check
guys.
me
have
out on my.
Have a great night and have a good trade.
Laidback, go ahead. What were you saying, Laidback?
Oh no, I was just saying, check me out on my page is @laidback, and that's it. I have like all different kinds of stock picks. So I don't know if you guys.
And Laidback has got his own website too. If you want to learn from the man himself as well, his website is laidback with 2 Ks.
I do have a paid service. It's laidbacktrading.com. If you guys want a little more, detailed and like a little more learning on like exactly like what I'm doing. I didn't want to really promote it here, but yeah, that's what I do. So.
No, we wanted you to. I was asking you. We wanted you to. This is a good opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really my style, but I mean, you could. I mean, it just kind of grows organically. But yeah, I mean, you can check me out on my website, laidbacktrading.com, and then that way you'd be like more. You'll learn exactly like what I'm doing and how I'm doing it and what I'm looking for.
Exactly, and the education just goes a long way as well. Like I think that's one of the important things as well. Just to mention, being educated in the stock market.
I tell people what stocks to buy. I also tell them what not to buy. But, I look at all these pumps on a daily basis. I'm like, oh my god, who's buying this crap? And we stay away from stuff like that. But anyway, no, yeah, I had fun, man. Anytime you guys want to do it again.
Sounds good.
I'm down.
Sounds good, brother. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right. Well, we'll end it here, and then we'll hope you guys have a good night. Have a safe holiday. We'll catch you around again.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Good night.
There we go. All right. We're off stream there.
Well, that was fun.